In aviation, especially during takeoff, every single second is critical. Today, we're going to be looking at the absolutely catastrophic failure of Air India Flight 171, a modern jet that literally just fell out of the sky less than a minute after it left the runway. 260. Now, that's not just some number. That's the number of people, both on the plane and tragically on the ground, who lost their lives in the Ahmedabad air disaster. So in the next few minutes, we're going to break down everything we know about how something like this could have happened. So let's start with the disaster itself in Ahmedabad. This tragedy unfolded not in some remote area, but right in the heart of a major Indian city, which just multiplied its devastating impact. So picture this. It's June 12th, 2025, in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. A passenger jet takes off, but just moments later, it comes crashing down. And we're not talking about an empty field here. It plunged right into a dense urban area, hitting multiple buildings, including a college hostel. This wasn't just an aviation accident. It was a full-blown catastrophe right in the heart of a city. Okay, so what about the flight itself? Let's look at the fateful flight. On paper, everything about this was completely routine, but the details are critical to understanding the mystery that followed. All right, so the aircraft was an Air India Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. And this was just a totally routine international flight, heading from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick. Now, the plane's model is absolutely critical here. The Dreamliner. This is one of the most technologically advanced jets flying today. It's packed with backup systems, redundancies, all of that. And that fact right there makes what happened next just so baffling. Now, behind all the technical specs are the people. And it's so important to understand the human toll of this, to really grasp the full weight of the disaster. On board that flight, there were 242 people, passengers and crew. And out of those 242 people, tragically, 241 of them lost their lives. An almost unimaginable loss for everyone who had just boarded that plane. But the devastation, it didn't stop with the plane. The crash also claimed an additional 19 lives on the ground. A tragedy that just spilled out far beyond the aircraft itself. And when you look at these numbers side by side, you really see the two fronts of this disaster, don't you? You have the catastrophic loss of 241 people in the air, and then the heartbreaking loss of 19 people on the ground. It brings us right back to that staggering total we started with, 260 lives lost. So, what on earth went wrong inside that cockpit? The answer, it seems, lies in the flight's final moments, a terrifyingly brief period of total catastrophic failure. Less than a minute. Think about that. Less than 60 seconds. That's all the time that passed between the wheels leaving the ground and the final impact. For the pilots, that meant basically zero time to figure out what was happening, let alone try and fix it. It just points to a failure that was almost instantaneous and completely overwhelming. So what did investigators find? Well, they uncovered this cascade of failures that all happened at the exact same time. First, a sudden and complete loss of thrust from both engines. Just like that, the plane's power was gone. But at the same moment, the flaps and the landing gear, they failed to retract. Now, aerodynamically, this is just devastating. The plane was basically stuck in this super high drag configuration. It's like trying to fly with a giant parachute deployed behind you, but with no engine power to fight it. For 3 critical, totally independent systems to all fail at once on a modern Dreamliner, it's almost unheard of. Okay, so once the what was established, the focus immediately shifted to why. And answering that question, well, that's the painstaking work of accident investigators. In India, that massive responsibility falls to the AAIB, which is the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. You can think of them as the detectives of the sky, really. They're the ones tasked with sifting through every single piece of evidence to find out exactly what happened. And this really is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? What could possibly cause a total system failure on such a modern aircraft? How does the state-of-the-art Dreamliner, an airplane that's literally designed with countless backup systems, suffer a complete and total failure just moments after takeoff? Figuring this out is absolutely key to making sure it never, ever happens again. Because at the end of the day, the goal of an investigation like this isn't just about explaining the past. It's about protecting the future. Every single piece of wreckage, every line of data from the flight recorders, it's all going to be analyzed, not just to find blame, but to find lessons. because the work of turning this immense tragedy into prevention, that is how we honor the 260 lives that were lost, and that's how we make our skies safer for all of us.